the year 2016 and last year 2017. This is what I have personally experienced. In the year 2016, when I was on my way to River Glen, when I came back from uptown somewhere, and I was on my way to River Glen, I noticed that there was a group of people who was up over there by I think it was in the parking lot, or the goal. I mean the where they play basketball at, and then and then there was a group of people. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was a parking lot. It was, some place that's up over there. And I know that's where they go up over there and play basketball. Is right across the street. It's up on Telfair Street, right? And it's right across a street from. I think it's right across the street from the church, or just a little bit, somewhere up over there. I remember that there was a group of people who called me gay and said that I was a homosexual who like dildos going in my behind and making jokes, making stupid comments, and I was minding my own business. I did not pay attention to them at all. I remember I passed by a cop, and he came up out of nowhere. He said, "Keep my thoughts to myself," which the majority of the time I keep my thoughts to myself. I'm usually a quiet person when I'm around other people. I remember there was four white women who came from up over there where the other people was at, and they came out in front of me, and I was going in the direction where they was walking at. There was four of them, four white women, and they was making all kind of homosexual comments in relations to, relating to me, right? And I remember going around the person because I like to. I'm a fast walker. I like to walk quick. I like to speed walk, and I remember I cut around the person, and then I went across the street. To the other side of the street, or either I was thinking about cutting around the person, but I did remember I crossed the street, and then they were still making comments, and I made it over there to River Glen, and that was a street theater that they stage, and then there was another street theater almost on my way to River Glen, and then there was a person that crossed the street, and I think I remember another person, but I don't quite remember that person. And then I remember the person going to I think it was a truck, and I heard a bag rattling, and I thought that somebody was gonna reach out to to get something. I thought that person had a gun. Um, and then I remember they, made some, you know, made some smart remarks and statements and other stuff. And I did eventually went to River Glen, but I still go in that area, to River Glen. That happened in the year 2016. In the year 2017, there was another street theater, and it had something to do with the cops as well. And and it has something to do with there was a group of cops that was they turned on their siren, and and then they was it seemed like they was following me from place to place, and then they cut on their sirens and stuff, and then they was harassing me, making noises. And that was on the way when I went home, when I was on my way home. The paramedics, I remember they did some street theater gang stalking stuff, and I got honked at by those individuals many times. They gang stalked me all over the place many times, always blowing their horn, sirens sounding off, making me feel uncomfortable, trying to induce me in a state of fear and all that. I seen when I looked in the paramedics in the ambulance, right? I seen them with laptops. I seen them with laptops. Um, Also in the year 2017, when they had that some event that was going on Green Street, right? And there was some cops up, that was lined all up and down that street. And what drawn me to that area is that I heard the same gang stalker that lived next door to me using voices skull. And I heard noises. It sounded like it was coming from a particular area. One specific particular area or something like that. As I went up over there, I went over there where the general library was at, and then I took the I was on Telfair Street, and then I went to Green Street, and then I had no idea that they had an event that was going on in Augusta, Georgia. I guess it has something to do with cycling or people riding bicycles. And then I remember somebody, I guess it was my mom, told me, or somebody in my family told me that there was had some type of event that was going on when they was riding on bicycles, cycling, or whatever that is that was going on at the time. And I went on Green Street, and I was just observing everything that was happening. And then there was some people who was making slick remarks about me, making gay, homosexual, slurs and remarks, you know. and the cops. I remember there was the cops that was parked, and up and down the street there was in a line. And I think over to the next street there was a line of cops. I think. Well, I don't quite remember, but I do remember there was a line of cops, and then I heard the voices go, the same person, and then I noticed it seemed like it was emanating about the police car, because every time when I walk, and it sounded like it was coming from all directions a little bit, but it was the noise seems to mainly be coming from the police car. And the what you call it, the little of the little satellite dish. I mean, not the satellite, the whatchamacallit. When I remember what it's called, I'll mention it some other time. And so I heard the voices scold, and as I was walking, I was heading to River Glen, and I seen a lot of people seemed like they was enjoying themselves. People walking from here and there, and I think what they had in those vehicles, they probably had something that generate or some type of electronic device or something like that that produces or generate these radio frequency waves and able to broadcast sound in radio frequency form. And I went to and I did eventually made it to River Glen. And then that was and I do usually go back and forth to River Glen just to see my family. I did went there to see my family. I remember other weird phenomenon like the fire truck going around Augusta. When I was walking around Augusta, Georgia, they was driving around Augusta, Georgia, blowing their horns, and there's one particular specific person seemed like they was really upset with me, because I remember when I tried to unprogram myself from their manipulation brainwash tactics, and I focused up on a specific thing. I remember they was blowing their horn like they was angry that I was focusing up on something else other than them, other than their brainwashing tactics. You got some black people in Augusta, Georgia that came around, and white people, random people, and I remember some of their faces still to this day. And some of them made remarks, and this is other remarks, smart remarks, other than homosexual remarks. And there's a lot of street theater. It seems like there's a lot of gang stalkers in the downtown area. There's a lot of them that's down there, and also in other parts of Augusta, Georgia. And there's a lot of undercover criminal activities that's happening here in Augusta, Georgia. But that's just another one of my testimonies that I want to talk about. And I hope this help a target individual. God bless you.